Hi guys, today I have an experimentation to do with you. This is a Munny, I don't know how you pronounce that. It's a vinyl figure that is blank, so you can decorate that as you want. Some use markers, some just acrylic paint, but I want to have fun and use an acrylic pour with the primary elements and see how that goes. And I think I'll use the silks or the vivid metallics for the details. What's cool with that is that you can detach all the parts to make it easier to paint. So I'm just afraid that the vinyl surface is not porous enough to accept the paint, so I decided to use just some clear gesso as my base layer, so it will add some grit to it. And I'm using a fluffy brush because I want to see what happens if I add texture. So there we go. I quickly cover everything with the clear gesso. I'm not too precious about it because, as I told you, I want some texture, and you will see that I will cover that little hole that is where the top and bottom comes together afterwards before doing the pour. I won't end up using that tie, but cover it anyway. Now that I will be doing a dirty pour, and this was my last color mixing, and I will use white as my base, and I decided to do the head and the body two different dirty pour. So for the head I decided to use 3 different blues because I wanted that to represent the sky. So as you can see, I'm layering white with my 3 different blues until I'm happy with what I have in my cup. This is just a little stir and then just pour. This was easier than the body because it's rounder, and the darker blue was at the bottom. I decided to use the same cup because what's on the bottom will end up at the top when poured, and I'm just repeating the same process, layering the browns and the white. And as you can see, these are 3 very different browns, but I really like how they come together when dry. It was more challenging because I cannot touch while pouring just to be sure that there's paint everywhere. And as you can see, I missed some spot, but that's okay, I'll make it work. As you can see, the colors are way paler when dry, and it was quite a surprise actually. And the consistency of my paint, the pigments, was not thick enough, and I should have remembered that dirty pour means thicker paint. That's okay. So to add some balance on the body, I decided to use some chestnut brown silk acrylic glaze. And remember to always stir it really well because the powder stays at the bottom of the jar. And to combine it with some cashmere true metallics vivids, my favorite colors of them all. And I'm just blending the two on a natural sponge and dabbing it on the body. Just remember to tap off the excess before tapping on the surface every time. I decided to go with an India ink marker to add some of the details I told you about. Nothing fancy. And it truly adds a difference to me. Now that it's drying, I decided to go for the head. Using that leftover cashmere to the inside of the ear, it will be really subtle, but you know, you can still see it. And with the leftover of the chestnut brown acrylic glaze, I painted the horns. You can layer all of the paint, but I didn't want to wait, sorry. And because I love experimenting, I wanted to see if I could mix some vivid with some primary elements and see what happens. So this is why I went back to Twilight, which was the darkest blue of the pigments for the head, and mixed it with the cashmere vivid. And I have to tell you, I really like the color that resulted from the two of them together. We needed some contrast. So this is why I used for the details on the face. Keeping it simple though. Time to put the two together. And I'm sorry it's out of focus. I just decided to just add some India ink in that part of the leg and add a dark gray for some shading. And you can see, but I also added white on the eyes. And that was it. I hope you enjoyed. See you on the next video.